Holy One, we come into this room expecting to hear something new. We come into this room looking for you to speak to us, to speak now in a new way. Open our ears in a new way, in a new way. And we are a desperate people in a desperate time. For the words of my mouth and the words in our brains make peace. May we be changed people in this world. Amen. Good morning, church. Wow, if we just left the service the way it was right now, we'd all be fed. We got messages all the way up to right now. The choir sounded like 50 people, didn't they? They were so alive. Just love it. The choir music was just magnificent. And the table. And then the children's part. I mean, shoot, they stole every one of my messages. That was just fabulous. And you don't even have to prompt anyone in your church to talk about belonging because we all get it. We all know what it means. It's Homecoming Sunday. And Homecoming Sunday was always the first full Sunday after Labor Day because that's when our kids went back to school. But now our kids go back to school so much earlier. But we still celebrate Homecoming Sunday, the first Sunday after Labor Day. And I love it because it is about recentering ourselves. Every year we do a new thing. And this year is no different. I remember years back when we did Oh, the Places We Will Go. Remember that one where we did Dr. Seuss? I do still think that was one of my favorites. And I love how people said to me, like, where did you come up with that one? Was there a book? I'm like, no, it came out of the book. That and every Sandwich lesson. But this year, we're not going to escape forward, I'm afraid. It will probably not be a fun path, but I'm sure you will get something out of it, because it's straight out of my heart. And it's one that I've wrestled with a lot. This past summer was a summer of what used to be of some nightmares. The things we don't talk about. But my heart needed something to look forward to. And so homecoming became that thing. This year's theme is really based on the song we listened to over the summer, which was Sunday. All belong here. By the street called the Many. If you Google them on YouTube, you will find this litany of theology of truth, truths, and grace onto the table. They are amazing. We've been listening to this song for Communion Sunday as a contemporary message for the last 3 months. And according to the groups, this song is a new kind of call to communion, a call to remember who we are and how much we are loved. A song that sees the Lord's table as a place where all belong, and that this is a whole world is God's table, where we can eat and be filled, where we can drink food of grace. And when I first heard the words and saw their video, all I could think of was this church. They go like this, and we sang them this morning. When you're not sure who you really are, when all you feel is the shape of your scars, and you have more rooms than you can count, open your eyes, look all around, you're not alone. This is your home. Come and remember who you are here. Do this to remember who I am. Come and remember you belong here. All belong here. All belong here is a very different message than you are welcome here. It's a very different message than anything else we have captured. Belonging does not mean we all like the same things, we all do the same activities, we all have the same thoughts and opinions. We don't even dress the same. Belonging does not mean we all are potatoes. Belonging comes from being yourself and being seen. And that can happen anywhere, even with people who are totally different from you. Even with people who want different things, believe different things, and that's why you can't find belonging around the dinner. Sometimes that's why you can find belonging around the dinner table or out in your neighborhood or at work at a coffee shop. But You never really do you? Some of us never found belonging at our kitchen table. Some of us never found belonging at our school trail yards. Many of us never found belonging at our local coffee shop. Belonging comes from being yourself and being seen. And that's why sometimes we don't find belonging in any of those places. Because belonging isn't about being the people or the places. It's about how we show up and whether we see each other. You can go through the world and choose not to be seen, and belonging will be hard to come by wherever you go. Or you might really show up, only to discover that the people around you aren't ready for that kind of connection. I mean, there are times when I can show up in a place and people are like, oh, you're too much for me. And I know you can imagine I've had that a lot in my life. But this is an invitation for each of us to see people around us, ask honest questions, ones that show we've been paying attention. And that's who we are. To listen, to celebrate the person in front of us. The need to belong is what drives us to seek out stable, long-lasting relationships with people. It also motivates us to participate in social activities, such as clubs and sportsmen and religious organizations, reputed community organizations. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The sense of belongingness is part of one of his major needs that motivates human behavior. A hierarchy usually portrayed as a pyramid, with more basic needs as the base, more complex needs being the peak. The need for love and belonging at the center of the pyramid as part of our social needs. The belonging to a group, we feel as we're part of something bigger and more important than ourselves. While Maslow suggested that these needs are less important than physiological and safety needs, he believes the need for belonging helps people to experience companionship, acceptance from family and friends and other relationships. Why has belonging become such a popular idea across secular and social culture? It makes sense. Many have lost and have never had a true sense of belonging. And for all our great advances in technology in modern America, we are more distracted than ever before. Despite constant, always-on connectivity, we are lonelier than any other human group in history. All is not well with us. Our society has been described right now, and many of you won't get this, but others will, as the swipe right culture. A reference to achieving your potential date on the popular internet. When we like something at first glance, we swipe right. The moment something, whether a person, a relationship, or a job community loses its appeal, we swipe left. Swipe right culture comes with freedom and autonomy. The moment you're not satisfied or you find something new, you just swipe left. Probably by using your phones, that's the way you get through it. And it's not just those outside of the faith and the church. The search for true belonging exists within our own congregation. To whom do we belong? Is it who we must belong to ourselves first? The great question that haunts so many in our day. Who are my people? Where is my tribe? Belonging is a primary human need. It was a primary human need in Jesus' time as well. Beyond food and shelter, nothing promotes human flourishing like having a people and a place to belong to. Research confirms that income level, marriage, and children perceived as security are pale in comparison to belonging and promoting sustained happiness. We long to belong. The church is God's creation to set the lonely in families. That's from Psalm 68. To give us a place to belong. Churches, synagogues, mosques, religious organizations, or communities of faith, other communities of faith, can promote belonging by reorientating our ministries and strategies around thriving communities, by inviting people to belong, not just challenging them, but asking them to commit. In 2017, Brene Brown, who we saw earlier, published Braving the Wilderness. She was amazing about doing it. Applying her unique insights to belonging and loneliness, Brown, who is a social work professor and popular author, her TED Talks on vulnerability has been viewed more than 40 million times, and she has become a fixture in pop culture. Her work on shame and vulnerability and belonging come from her research in social psychology, and she is not usually spoken about in Christian circles in a very positive way. And I adore her work. And I've attended many of her workshops, and I've read almost all of her books. And the reason that I do is because she talks about this subject so clearly. She talks about we have a need for each other. And the reason she's not popular in Christian culture is because everyone in Christian culture says we have a need for God first and man is second. And I believe that God proves us very clearly we have a need for each other. And that's what we have in God. Paul says and writes, he has done the world a profound favor by reminding us of the importance of vulnerability in relationships, the need for belonging and the significance of empathy and interpersonal support. In Braving the Wilderness, though, she makes some claims that relate to our topic and indeed stress the classic understanding of belonging. She defines belonging as the innate human desire to be part of something larger than us. Because this meaning is so primal, we often try to acquire it as the norm, by seeking approval, which is not only shallow substitute for belonging, but there are often barriers to it. Because by trying to fit in, we switch. We change. We dress the right way like everybody else in the group. Once is already established, true belonging is something far deeper than fitting in, is noble. She contends true belonging is not something we achieve with accomplishment goals. It is something we truly want for. Once we belong thoroughly to our souls and believe thoroughly in ourselves, true belonging is possible. So the theory goes, we must secure in ourselves and then we belong wherever we are. It follows then that there will be many times when we don't fit in and when we are alone in the wilderness, and yet still belong there. But I don't agree with her on that. I think that if we have a place where we belong, even in our wilderness times, we still belong there. But even when we feel like a shell of ourselves, we can come to that place where we belong and get through. I understand that our thesis is grounded in recent data from psychological surveys. I don't doubt that. But I do doubt that it's not entirely true. In the late 20th century, the self-esteem movement was a first wave until it wasn't. The leading hypothesis stated that individuals who mostly fully satisfied their modified sense of self-esteem. Self-esteem went from a minor therapeutic theory to a dominant factor in a wider culture. Thousands of parents began to consume large doses, I don't know if any of you did this, but I do know others who have instilled large doses of self-esteem into their kids. And you see, I believe, as I think many would agree, in a community based on following Jesus, we can find that belonging is a true belonging. The rise of self-esteem movement, however, is based on more of a hypothesis than evidence. But by the end of the 20th century, it brought about a few long-term studies aimed at providing a concordance. Children were indoctrinated with self-esteem, among other factors, from early childhood into young adulthood. But the research came to a startling conclusion. Self-esteem has little to no positive effect in individuals. The money has had significantly negative effects. So what single quality had the most identified satisfaction and well-being? Well, in 1995, Roy Bumster at Florida State published a substantial article demonstrating that the healthiest, most satisfying individuals are those who have a place to belong. In other words, our deepest satisfaction comes not from achieving personal autonomy through acceptance into unconditional love. Where it came from was belonging into a community, the unbreakable bond of being with people we belong to. In 2020, a study linked with college students found a positive link between a sense of belonging and their greater happiness and their overall well-being, as well as the overall reduction in mental health outcomes, including it lowered their anxiety, it lowered their depression, it lowered their hopelessness, it lowered their loneliness, it lowered their social anxiety, and it almost completely removed suicidal thoughts from these students. And if young college students are feeling these images, think in their own lives. Make them feel a sense of belonging. We can remove that isolation from them. What about your family, or immigrants, or LGBT population, or our youth? You see, we all need a community belonging. And some of you might ask, well, why isn't our church packed on Sunday, Pastor? If we're so great, why isn't our church growing? We've been asking that question in our leadership team for years. Why are the open, liberal, progressive churches dying? She ought be perfect. Well, as someone who has based my entire life on trying to figure out that question, I got some answers. Why is it that more non-progressive, non-diversified, non-open and welcoming to all churches are more popular? Why are the Mormons growing faster and getting larger and more popular than any other denomination in the United States? Why are the Catholics not in decline, but not everyone is welcomed at their table? The most recent Pew Research poll published in 2021 indicates the number of people in the United States who describe themselves as religiously unaffiliated increased by 6 points in the last 12 years and 10 points in the last decade. That means that those who are unaffiliated to a church at all has increased by 40% in the last 5 years. We look at my England folks. When asked about their religious affiliation, 29% of respondents, or every 3 in 10 U.S. citizens, said none, meaning they were either atheist, agnostic, or nothing in particular. According to the Pew Research study, we wonder why folks are more angry, more lonely, more distant from each other. We don't have to look hard. We don't have community. They don't have a sense of belonging. If the unaffiliated were a religion, they would be the largest religious group in the United States right now. Elizabeth Fletcher, an adjunct professor at Stanford University, told the Associated Press, Fletcher said the religious unaffiliated previously resided mostly in urban and coastal communities. Now, they're spreading across the country. It has a margin of error of 2.1 percentage points, but it's still growing really quickly. Christians, including Protestants, Catholics, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Orthodox Christians still make up the majority of the U.S. population, but specifically they account for 63% of the adult population, 12% point increase since 2011. While the percentage of Catholics in the United States has remained relatively steady, 21% of the population since 2014, the population of Protestants has declined 40%. Less than half of the respondents, 35%, report staying once a day, compared to 15% in 2020. The Pew survey included 3,900 respondents and was conducted from May 29th of this 2020. Our denomination alone is bleeding people. Why? Well, I can tell you why. We are not a proud people that we belong to a church. Matter of fact, most of us say, what did you do on Sunday? I went to church. What did you do on Sunday? I went to church. And why are we ashamed? Because we are afraid that people are going to say, well, why don't Jesus preach? You know it. And what comes with that package of being a Jesus freak? Right? What comes with that package? We always think condemnation. Right? We always think judgment. But if we said, oh, we go to a church that welcomes everybody. Because everyone is welcome to this table. Everybody has a chance to be who they are. Everyone. We don't judge here. We don't ask you to believe what we believe. We want you to journey with us. Belong here. Come and be who you are here. Be part of our tribe here. We're just trying to make the world a better place here. What an interesting concept. And yet, we love each other even though we're ashamed sometimes. We love each other to death. Some Sunday mornings, we can't wait to get here. And when we can't come, we get on Zoom. And even if we are one of those who can't stay for the length of fellowship, we just get all warm, fuzzy, sitting in our chairs saying, hey friend, how was your week? And trust me, if you've never left a church you love, it is very much like a divorce. With weeds of separation. See, I still miss my tribe from Alameda. And every time I run into one of them, it is like a homecoming. It's like, oh, God, I miss you. I still miss them. They are my people too. So why don't we tell everyone? Why don't we tell people that this is outcomes? Because we don't know how. But hopefully we can talk about that. Hopefully we can come up with more events that we can invite them to, like our December book study that is just all about availability. It's all about making ourselves available to each other and to our family. And a kingdom. Everyone's really just a mess. Come play cards with us. Come play dominoes with us. Come play dinner with us. I know that sounds really kind of weird, but no. We need to belong to a community. Back in the day, our churches were packed because people didn't need to belong to a community. They didn't play soccer on Sunday mornings. They didn't play baseball or anything else on Sunday mornings because people understood the importance of community, how it fed us, how it was like a gracious meal that we ate with our family on Sunday morning, that we came and celebrated each other with. We wanted to know about our birth and our death and our love for each other. It was what we did. And our world was a better place for it. We didn't argue and bicker. We didn't care what someone's politics was sitting in a pew next to us. We just knew we cared about them. And you don't get away with just inviting folks if you thought they were your assignment or your homecoming. We have to invite people here. We have to sit with them. We have to be committed to them. And so I'm challenging you. Invite someone. Invite your niece, or your cousin, or your friend, or your next door neighbor, or someone you think who is not even interested, but is lonely. Invite them. Hey, come to church with me on Sunday. I guarantee you'll leave laughing. I guarantee she'll tell you something. I try not to do stand-up comedy. I'm looking at the point not doing it, because I get a million of them. But it's important that people join. They get involved. Joining this church and remaining in one place doesn't guarantee true belonging. Y'all know that. You can't come to the church and just sit. You got to come to the church and be. Ask Queen Sophie. Ask any of the people. Ask Priscilla. Ask Joanne. Ask Liz. You got to come and be part of. That's how we get to know you. We must constantly be moving in. We must move forward toward each other. Embracing a life of interdependent relationship over a life of economy and independence. My default response to these people in hard situations sometimes is, it'll get better. But that doesn't create a sense of intimacy and belonging. When conflict arises within a community, we must do exactly what today's scripture tells us to do. I know y'all thought I wasn't going to talk about that, but I am. Move toward the conflict and seek that solution. When a need arises, step in and offer your support and resources. When others lack a place to belong, invite them to yours. That's what Jesus is telling us in today's message. Jesus' time, the community was just as dispersed as we are today. There was just as much infighting and bickering, and people were just as nasty as they are today. That's when he created the community. Because he knew how important it was to step over boundaries and barriers. That's why he welcomed everyone to his kingdom, the Gentile, the Samaritan, and the Jew. Everyone was welcomed to his kingdom. There was no barrier to that table. And there's no barrier to that table today. That's what makes us unique. And that's our calling card. That's how we will grow. You can never forget that. That's what makes us different. I just gave you all this information today about how belonging can extend your life, how it can bring you happiness, how it can bring you joy. You all know that because you've been here. You all know that if you've attended anything here. Anybody who goes to Domino's on Tuesdays knows that because we thank our careful. Right? And that brings us joy. Belonging is vital for very well-being. It can extend your life. Just look at me. trust me, I know. I'm alive today because of the sense of belonging to a community that cares for me, loves me, makes me laugh, and truly sees me. And I think that's what makes a difference in our lives. All belong here. Not just tolerated, not just welcomed, not just accepted, but loved, cared for, seen, nurtured, and fed. Open your eyes, look all around, you're not alone. This is your home. Come and remember who you are here. Do this and remember who I am here. Come and remember you belong here. Oh, amen. Please rise and join in singing in the midst of new dimensions. Rainbow fire and color. Love that. Love that very much. We are in the midst of a new dimension. We are the people that God has sent for us. We are the people that can change the world. Each one of us will sneak off with the prize. You know that Nancy's been baking cookies and bread in the fellowship hall. You can smell it, right? And it's so that I was hurrying my son, and there was no way I was going to change the wine of that smell. We are the people that can change the world. We have the cure right here, and it's a sense of belonging. We ought to share that with one another. We ought to share that with the world. We ought to celebrate who we are as a people, because why? What's the word? All belong here. Got it. Go for it. Go forth and be who you are. Amen?